tell you, when I go shopping at Market Basket or Hannaford, the person that comes to see me is most likely their last name is either Dubois or Frechette or Panazzi, and a lot of them will come up. Dubois, you know, Cody, Montembeau, you know, that's the, okay. And they'll come and talk to me and they'll say, Monsieur Lasalvier, si je peux parler, you know, and that's where they come. And these people have been here for 4, 5, 6, 7 generations for me. And a lot of them, because they've been here so long, and they worked in the mills. Back in those days, my grandparents used to work 70 hours a week down in the mills during the summertime so they could afford to have their kids go to school in the wintertime. That's what it was back then. And these people don't have money that they sock away. The only money that they have is their home. But they can't sell their home to be able to afford what they get. They get Social Security. And over the past 6 years, 8%, 9%, that's been their increase. And they're having to pay out for all of the other stuff and still afford the gas and the taxes, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody's got a perspective that makes sense and can be argued in a positive manner. I fully understand that. But of course, there has to be a balance between how much we can spend and how much we can take in. It's just reality, and we gotta try to help all areas of the economy. Okay? Now, as far as we don't have the numbers today.
And I also want to say that I'm sure different people hear different things based on who they hang out with. I hang out with a bunch of young families because I have a bunch of young kids in my house. And what I'm hearing from them is the school spending enough? Can they spend more? Yes, I'd be glad to pay more in taxes. And I want to speak for that I have not heard from anyone, my tax bill is too high and I'm worried about the money. Not from one person at all. I invite the public who happen to slog through this meeting to please reach out to us, because the school board hasn't heard. I haven't gotten any emails as a school board member to say one way or another anything about the budget or have public hearings. But I just want to remind folks that the people want these services. And I think we're very lucky to live in a community where people feel like they're getting something for their tax dollars. Yes, they're spending money, but they're getting something. And I'm much more concerned about the something that they're getting than driving down the price tag.
With Councilor Westar made a point too, and it's when I don't think we're gonna say we're cutting everything out, so let's just go from here. We've got a lot of discussion, and I'm not sitting here for my own opinion. I'm sitting here for the people that put me here, and they're gonna come hopefully to the meeting and express their opinion so we get a better understanding. I don't think there's one council member that is sitting in their seat saying, I'm gonna make decisions based on what I feel. Of course, you know what I mean? So I think we got a ways to go, and this is a start to the school side, and then we've got a lot more meetings ahead of us.
One thing that I believe is important is us as city councilors and school committee members is we're not the ones in the trenches doing the work. For us to go in and say we can cut this line item because it's X amount of money is a bad example that we're setting. We don't really know what that really means, right? We're not doing it every day. We need to give big picture, this is where we need to be. And let our staff figure that out. Because that's what part of their job, that's what they're hired for.
The ultimate goal is to make this city a wonderful place to live. And having strong schools does that. And having strong general assistance, having strong services does that. We want this community to be a place where young families can live, where new neighbors feel comfortable, and I think I echo those statements that when we make the decision to cut line items based on cost alone, we need to also be thinking about the actual cost to the community and whether we're acting against the interests of the types of people we want to be able to stay and live here, we want to be able to afford to live here, we want to be able to work here, So as we make cuts to the school's budget, we need to think about how we're supporting students who desperately need the support. We also need to be thinking about how we're supporting their parents who live in this community and people who don't have children who live in this community. These are not just numbers on a spreadsheet, and we want our community to be strong and supportive to those who really, really need our support right now.
Dealing with a budget that we don't have the final numbers in. None of us here would go to a car dealership and buy a brand new vehicle unless we knew what revenue we had and if we could afford to buy it to begin with. We're sitting here with total numbers and guesstimates of what the revenue is going to be. We don't have fund balance quotes yet. All these numbers could drive down what we actually have to budget for as an increase. And that's why I'm in not a position, as far as I'm concerned at this point of this early game, willing to cut anything until I know what our actual numbers are. It makes no sense to do these rash judgments and come to a conclusion that we have to cut anything.